What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to teach you how to do a lying hamstring curl, one of the best hamstring exercises you can possibly do. Now, this is going to be one of those tutorials where I'm going to break it down, because most people, they just get on this thing and they start curling their hamstrings. That is not what you do. So we got a couple rules of thumb coming up. So number one, okay, this pad back here, this leg pad, does not go on your ankles. It does not go on your ankles. It goes on your lower calf, right? So when I set up here, look how I got it going on, right? I got my lower calves on the pads. I want to talk about a mistake that a lot of people make. It's a mistake a lot of people make is when they curl up, right? And it's kind of hard for me to even do it because I'm set up so well and because I'm so used to doing it the right way. What they'll do is they'll curl up, right? And their stomach, right, will lift off of the pad, right? So, oh my gosh, let me see. So it'll be like this. Like the stomach will lift off the pad, right? And if you're taping yourself during your hard sets and you see your stomach lifting off the pad like this, we don't want to do that, right? That's called anterior pelvic tilt. And that's gonna take all the pressure off of your hamstrings and destroy your lower back. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we get to talk about what makes an amazing hamstring curl. So like I said, lower calves on this leg pad right here. From there, what you're gonna do, right, is you're gonna make sure your feet are about shoulder width apart and make sure your toes are pointed up, right? So right here, my toes are pointed up. They're not pointed down like this, okay? Also, I was looking at this with some clients. You don't want your toes pointed out like this, not at all. You want your toes to be straight and the toes to be pointed up like so. From there, this is very important. To avoid that anterior pelvic tilt like we were talking about before, we need to grab these handles, right, and pull ourselves down as hard as humanly possible. And as we pull down on these handles as hard as humanly possible, we want to think about pushing our pelvis, right? All this right here, we want to think about pushing this into the pad as hard as humanly possible so that our butt doesn't tilt up when we do the hamstring curl, right? So from there, we get to put it all together. So from here, boom, we have our toes shoulder width apart, right? Or our feet shoulder width apart, toes pointed up, right? From there, we've got our hands, we're pulling down as hard as possible, pushing our pelvis into the pad, and we get to curl up like so, boom, 1, 2, 3. Full stretch at the bottom, just like this. Boom, come up, squeeze at the top. 1, 2, 3. Full stretch at the bottom, pushing our pelvis into the pad. 1, 2, 3. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Now, we do not want an anterior pelvic tilt, right? I cannot stress that enough. So there are a couple ways you can do this that I'm okay with, right? I don't want you half repping. I need to make that clear. However, if you want to come here, grab these handles and push your pelvis in as hard as you can either come up and touch your butt like I'm doing here. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Full stretch just like that. Boom. Okay, or what you can do is you can come up and stop just shy of touching your butt, right? So it would look like this. Push our pelvis in, right? Right here. Full stretch on our hamstrings. Come up to about here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, come up, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the only reason we're doing this, guys, we're not doing it to half rep, but we're just trying to prevent that anterior pelvic tilt as much as possible. We want the pelvis to be locked in. We don't want our stomach to come up when we do our hamstring curl. And we want to isolate the hamstrings and keep the lower back as healthy as possible, because I'll tell you right now, like, I've been there when my lower back's kind of got janked up just because the weight's super heavy. I'm just like, crap, you know? We want to avoid that anterior pelvic tilt. You want to do what works for you, right? Again, whether that's touching your glutes all the way or stopping just shy, just make sure your butt's not lifting off. Make sure you're getting that full stretch at the bottom of the range of motion. All right, something else you can do if you really are having problems avoiding your butt coming off as you curl up is, it may not even be your fault, it may be the machine. So what you can do is you can get, again, foam roller right here, come up, boom, just like this, and follow all the same cues. So we're gonna have our toes pointed up, feet shoulder width apart, right? We're gonna pull down as hard as we can here, and we are going to get a full stretch here. We're gonna come up, boom, 1, 2, 3. Now, as you can see, guys, I may need to adjust, right, my seating arrangement a little bit, but you get the general idea exactly of what we're doing here, right? Because I would say, honestly, I just transferred over, I would have to adjust this up a little bit, right? And then from there, I think I would be able to, yeah, see, now I'm on my mid to low calves, right? And that's fine, okay? That's what we want. So now we can push ourselves down as hard as possible, curl up like this, boom, 1, 2, 3. Deep stretch, boom. 1, 2, 3. Deep stretch. Now look where the pad is on my calves at the bottom of the movement, right on my mid calves, as opposed to when I come up. Ready? Like this, boom. Okay, they're right at the lower calves, right? So again, keep that in mind, right? This is what happens. This is just us adjusting to our environment, because the main thing to understand here, guys, is that these machines are not built for your body, okay? So you've got to adjust your body to fit the machines so that you can have the best hypertrophy stimulus possible. And that, guys, is how you do a lying hamstring curl.